Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep and welcome back to the Butcher's Circus. Today we are going to be giving a very weird team idea a try. So it was suggested by someone over in the Discord server to try playing WD without a bounty hunter but with a Vestal instead, which is an absolutely crazy idea because of a whole number of reasons. But reason number one is, well, you just lost your mark synergy. I don't have a bounty hunter, which means that the Arbalist is gonna have more troubles because of that. But that isn't really the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that I no longer have a finisher character. Now, before we talk about all the other downsides of this team, I do want to mention some of the upsides. So Mr. D just sent me a message saying freaking Psylocke Abomination. Yeah, this is an abomination team, absolute abomination, because it has a lot of upsides. So it still has 2 stunners, and it still has an abomination for disruption and potentially a stun, and it still has an Arbalist to do a lot of damage, which he definitely does, and it has 4 healing characters. Like, all these characters can heal. It's absolutely wild what this team is capable of. Like, it's really wild, and I'm gonna have to say that Flagellant probably isn't in too good of a shape right now, because he's about to get not destroyed, but probably not put in the place where he wants to be. So I think I'm actually gonna go for a little bit of a weird play, like definitely very weird play. I'm gonna drop a Bulwark because I don't think my Crusader action is gonna be useful in any other way, because I'm gonna stun the Flagellant no matter what, because that's the only character I can actually hit reliably with the Flagellant. I mean, with the Vestal. And other than that, I'm just gonna try focusing him down, because Mr. D just decided to move forwards and lose his action for round 2. So it's gonna be a stun on my Arbalist. I'm not too concerned about it. That's just gonna be an Arbalist action gone, but she wasn't gonna do too much anyway. She was just like gonna pull her or something, so yeah, who cares. I could click her immediately, or I could not. It doesn't really make a difference. I'm just gonna go for a stun here. So I'm gonna go for a 95% chance of getting a stun. I do hope it succeeds. It would be very unlucky not to have it succeed. But yeah, overall this team, compared to a normal WD or a normal Psylocke special, it's not gonna have as much burst, but it's gonna have even more control. I mean, you're not gonna have come hitters, so that's maybe not even more control, but yeah, it's gonna have 4 healing characters. It's gonna be an absolute pain to deal with if you're a damage team, and that's good. That's good for us. So it's gonna be a puncture. Doesn't work, thankfully, and that puts the Flagellant in a really rough spot. Going for that puncture right there. Now I can go for this, and I don't do enough, but that's close to enough. That's at a point where one more hit and the Flagellant's dropping down to 0. But I just realized I just used my finisher character for that. Huh. Now I do get to go first by the start of next round, so I can still go for a death blow with the Arbalist by start, so it's weird, it's good and bad. I'm not too sure what else to say of it. So right now we have a little bit of a problem, which is the fact that if we do want to go for a hit, actually that crit is so annoying. That's my Crusader HP down to 0 already. That's brutal. Yeah, the Prot doesn't really do anything for us against standard skits, right? Yeah, I do have a little bit of a problem right now, which is the fact that the Vestal is there with a big heal incoming, so I actually have to go for a very subpar stunning blow right now. So I have to drop this. I do get to stun, but not like it makes any difference, because you can't stun twice. And other than that, what's gonna happen right now is probably the Vestal going for a big Divine Grace. And that's gonna be a big heal, so I'm just getting spammed on Steam by Wynterbliss. He's annoyed that I'm not playing Dead by Daylight with him. I want to play Circus instead, because I prefer this game. That's so greedy by Mr. D. Not actually going for the heal. That is so greedy, oh my god. Well, I'm definitely gonna try punishing it. I'm gonna go for a Rake. Yeah, that's a punish, alright. Oh, that's a punish, alright. Good job, Abomination. I'm actually thinking maybe you could give him Finisher. Maybe you could give the Abomination a finisher, because Shattered Padlock is good. Shattered Padlock is really good. Yeah, it's a really decent drink. Like, I don't bring it all the time, but it's really decent. Like, plus 10% damage melee skill just means that in transformation you really hurt. You also get a bleed out of it, which you can stack, and that's not too bad, you know, getting a little bit of a bleed. Gives you more crit, more move chance, like, just awesome trinket. If you pair it with the net, you're just insane in transformation mode. Right now, there's only 2 finale buffs on there, and I have Block of Light, so I'm not too concerned. So I think we're just gonna stun the Vestal. Like, this is a pretty obvious play. We have a Vestal in position 3, we have our own Vestal in position 4, now we just get to remove one of their actions for the price of only one of ours, and we have 4, they only have 3, so we have the advantage right now. So if you do get the early kill with the team, it's even more annoying than what it is with Sawick Special or with the WD, because now you have an even bigger character advantage. I can de-transform, go for a stun right now. I'm not sure if that's the superior play. I mean, the play is definitely to heal or stun. It's definitely going to be the play, like, no doubts about it. I'm going to go for a stun here, 75% chance we do hit it, and we do get it, so that's nasty, but very much appreciated. After that, the play is probably going to be to go for a slam on the Jester, and then stun on the Vestal. I think that's going to be our play. We have a lot of plus damage right now. If I rake, that could be pretty handy, but slam is the highest hit chance. 66. You know, having only 106 accuracy means that, yeah, you're going to have a pretty rough time all around. That was a 60 fail, this was a 60 not fail, that's a 60 crit, and yeah, the Jester are just gonna get stunned again. It's so broken how WD and, you know, WD variant teams work. It's that your hit chances aren't great, but if they hit, like, just that crit is so damn annoying to deal with, because right now Mr. D doesn't have any other way of winning. Like, the Vestal can't do anything, she's just gonna stun one of my characters, but then gonna get stunned again. Shieldbreaker's good, like, she did a good job, but she didn't kill any characters, and the Jester's just about to get destroyed because he's gonna get perma-stunned. I still have another 2 stun characters, one of them with pretty much a confirmed chance of getting a double stun and also very high accuracy, and there's just nothing you can do at that point. So yeah, let's go on to a next match. Okay, and it looks like Mr. D actually wants a rematch, so I told him I was gonna play the same team again, and he just decided to bring the same team too. So I think the main point of this video is actually just to try and figure out if this WD Vestal actually has some merit to it, or if it's just some crazy idea. Because it's definitely a crazy idea, but if it's stupid but it works, it ain't stupid, and that's what we're gonna try to prove here. So it's gonna be a stun on my A-bomb. I could flare that. I could indeed flare that, but do I want to is the question. Do I want to flare that stun and have my Abomination action? I think so, actually. I think my Abomination action is more valuable than the Vestal action, and the stun like barely tickled me, so I think I'm okay with this. Yeah, totally okay. And now, depending on what my opponent does, I just have so much offense here. I have 2 stuns, I have an A-bomb to transform and go rage or slam, and going for that punish right there is definitely, maybe not a mistake, but definitely putting that flagellant at risk, because now I can go for a stunning blow, very likely gonna get the stun, and after that he doesn't have his action for round 2, and I'm probably just gonna transform rage, and he might even go down to 0 HP if I get a crit out of it, which, keep in mind, isn't too unlikely. Now, it's gonna be a Dirk Stab. Yeah, the A-bomb is definitely getting pressured hard here, but I can always go for a single target heal if I really want to, really want to. So I can transform right now. Hopefully Adder's Kiss doesn't do 9 damage. That's kind of what I'm going to be hoping for. And the Jester does get to go first next round, so we're going to have to be careful with that. 14 to 24. I don't get a crit out of it. I get actually a really low roll, but oh well, what can you do? We do get a bleed for 3 points. Wait, how did we bleed so much? Oh, because of the Crown of Thorns, right? He bled himself, actually. That's why he's taking so much damage. We get pierced for 9 HP, which is just enough to put my Abomination in a lot of danger. So we're gonna go for a heal. We roll for 11, which it's definitely not enough to stop a finale. It does 9 to 16 damage. Mr. D would have to get quite unlucky not to get to finale death by right now. And it's gonna be pretty interesting to see what actually happens down the character with this team, because his team still has a Vestal for healing, and Flagellant still isn't quite at the point where he's close to dying, I'm gonna have to say. So there's gonna be a stun on my Arbalist first, surprisingly. I think that's gonna be met with a stun on his Jester. I think it's gonna be our play, right? Maybe a stun with the Crusader instead. I'm gonna go for it. It's a 60. We take those. Just barely we take those. Maybe I should have Smite on this team instead of Bulwark. I don't know, I just feel like Bulwark is good, because it makes the team a whole lot tankier. And probably even like a confirmed win against damage teams, because you just have 4 healers and you have characters that are super tanky. Like, that's just really difficult to deal with. Yeah, really difficult to deal with. The only problem it has is that it can't really access position 4, because you don't have a bounty hunter for the come hither. So there's going to be another Kiss on the Crusader. I don't think I agree with this play. You're kind of relinquishing... Oh, you're releasing pressure from the Abomination and just putting it on the Crusader, but the Crusader is still fine, so I don't think that's actually not too much of a problem for us right now. So I could go Rage into a double stun. I think that's an idea. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. So I'm gonna go for a Rage right now, and let's see, the hit chance is 94, and we do take that. My opponent does go first next round, but he could start off with a Redeem, but I'm not sure if that would be the best play, technically. Now we're just gonna click here, and then we're gonna go for a double stun. Very unlikely to work, because there's a lot of plus stun resistance, but it's still a 25, and it's a 45 if we crit. So 45 if we crit, we take those. We take the double stun against 125% stun resistance, so isn't that nice? Doesn't get the death blow though, it was a 20% chance, but oh well, what can you do? I am gonna drop the death store right now, if I do decide to go for a Rage, but I still think I'm gonna do it. I think it's worth it. It is definitely putting me in a rough spot, but I'm gonna go for it. I roll for enough, thankfully, which means that the Flagell's probably gonna die this round. I think this is worth it, because, well, none of us have confirmed death blow chances, but unless you go for a kill right now, I'm gonna have a really big Divine Grace, and even if you go for a kill with Turksab, you only have a 60% chance of getting it, and that's risky. So he's actually gonna go for a Puncture. It's gonna prevent my Arbalist from going Sniper Shot, or it would, if it worked, and it didn't. So instead of that, I'm gonna actually go for a stun on the Jester. So it's a 75, which was definitely risky, but I think it was the best play, because I think my Crusader is gonna be put to better use actually going for a heal on the Abomination, rather than, you know, to risk a 60% chance stun. So you go for a heal. If you want to drop a Finale, then so be it, right? At least that's a Finale down for our character, and that's also some healing against the other skills. So we're gonna have a really decent chance of getting a death blow right now. It's not confirmed, but it's a 60, and we don't take it. Oh, not taking that death blow is actually really annoying. You know, this is kind of the problem with this team and this whole team idea, is that, you know, 60% chance of getting death blows. Yeah, that's annoying. That's pretty darn annoying. I wonder what the Flashlight actually goes for, if he wants to go for another self-heal, like a heal with Redeem, or if he wants to go for a heal with Divine Grace. A heal with Divine Grace is going to be met by Rage. Like, no two questions about it. Like, for sure going to be met by Rage. So Divine Grace heals for 11, and this is a really rough spot, you know, trying to kill this Flagell. It's just that these two characters are really high dodge, so this is rough to deal with. We're gonna drop another Rage, just keeps crit healing the other characters. Doesn't do too much, but now you can heal with Redeem for 24 HP, and I don't really know how I'm gonna deal with that. And that's kind of our problem here. How do I deal with a heal for 24? Because my only damage dealers are kind of the Abomination and the Arbalist, but the Abomination might not last for too long, unless I get another stun going. So 75% chance, yeah, we fail this time, and I think that's a dead A-bomb right there. At least it would be if I was the one playing Mr. D's team. I'd just go for Finale on the Abomination, and I think you just take the W from there, because it's gonna be really rough for me. Really, really rough after the Abomination step, but no, he just wants to drop an Adder's Kiss. That is so weird. The plays are beyond me right now. I think just taking out the character would have been the superior play, and yeah, I just keep missing. Yeah, this is the WD experience, right? When you have to go for the 60s and the 70s to hit, and they just don't work. So now you drop a Finale. Maybe that was a bait, actually, just to get me to miss. Maybe that was the plan, it was to get me to miss. I don't know, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna drop this. I do get a crit out of it, which is definitely helpful, but then again, how am I actually still gonna kill this Flagell? He's dazed, so there's probably gonna be a heal with the Vestal first. But after that heal, the only thing I have that actually does enough damage is Sniper Shot, and after that all I have to get kills are these two. And that means that down the character, and even if we go like 3v3 after a little bit, it's still really rough for me, because my Crusader is ticking down to 0 essentially, and all the enemy characters are pretty much chilling, right? Like the Vestals kind of counter each other, so it's pretty much a 2v2. And even though I think my Arbalist can kill the Jester, I think the Shieldbreaker is definitely in a much better spot than my Crusader, so it's rough, and that's considering that we get the kill right now. It's considering that we actually get a death blow on this Flagell, which isn't confirmed. I'm definitely gonna go for it with Vestal. It's a 50-50. Wow, it just fails. Okay. Well, that's rough. That's really rough how he just stays alive. I mean, we're gonna be able to kill him next round. We're definitely going to be able to kill him next round, right? So we can drop a bolo or something like that, but our Crusader is also going to be in a lot of danger. We're going to go for a heal right now, just so we don't get deathblowed by the Dirk Snap, but we might just get deathblowed by the start of next round. We're going to have to get lucky with the death blows too, just like Mr. D is getting right now. So I think this is actually a really annoying team to play with. Yeah, I think I'm actually, that's what I'm going for here. That this team is just annoying to play with, because you won't get confirmed death blows. And it's not like when you have a Jester, because when you have a Jester, I mean, every death blow you get is a 60, you can bypass guards, you can have a finale for the big death blows, like, that's good. But with this team, no, not really. Just having a finisher isn't enough to make you have a reliable death blow, right? It really isn't enough. I'm gonna go for a crit heal here, like, that's helpful, right? It's definitely helpful, but yeah, it's... my Crusader's probably dead here. Yeah, very likely that. Let's keep in mind that Flagellant died round 6, and let's keep in mind that the Abomination died round 4, right? I think it was round 4. At least I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was round 4. So that might be a death blow, might not be. Oh, not the death blow. Not death blow is actually really good for us. I think in response to that, we're just gonna click here, get rid of some of that DOT and go for a heal right there. So it's actually really good that Crusader stays alive, because right now we might have a chance of resisting the stun. Let's see, do we resist it? We have a 25% chance of resisting it. We do actually, that's so clutch. That is unbelievably clutch. And now I can drop a sniper shot here. Oh, the low roll. Yeah, the play is definitely to kill the Jester right now, because once he's out, there's no more finisher. So that's 100% to play. It's probably going to be a puncture on my Vestal, at least that's what I'd do if I were Mr. D. Yeah, that's going to be the puncture, but despite that puncture, I still have Hand of Light, and Hand of Light does a surprisingly good job. It does 6 to 10 damage, it only does 7 for the first roll, but hopefully it does a little bit more than with the next ability. There is an idea in moving back, but I don't think that would really be worth it. Honestly, it's going to be Dirk Snap, does do enough damage, but I can just heal with the Crusader, and not always over. So that was round 4, so it's going to go away next round, which is good and bad, which means that the Wynterbliss isn't going to be able to get stunned by the enemy Vestal, but it also means that at the very least the Crusader can stun again and the Wynterbliss can bolo, which is good. So there's going to be a Pierce I have to heal again if I don't want to die, which I don't, obviously. So yeah, we're just going to heal that one more time. Crit heal. We called it. Oh, that is so unbelievably clutch. Getting a crit heal right there, because I have 15 prot, right? I'm not blighting out to 0 right now, which means that this Crusader is actually just going to be really difficult to kill. So yeah, it's just this team, 3 healers, it's just so goddamn difficult to deal with. I still have to see how this team would actually deal with stress teams, because we aren't unsure of yet. I mean, this is kind of like a mix and match between DOT and damage. So against stress, it would probably be really bad, I'm gonna have to say. It would probably be really bad. It's actually gonna be a stun. I'm not sure if that's the best play, because right now I'm gonna have 50-50 of getting the death blow. So yeah, it was round 4, I'm gonna have a 50-50, but the question is, do I go for it? It's a 50% chance of winning the match, or is it? Or do I want to keep my action? No, we go for it, 50-50. Damn. And we also missed the shield breaker, which obviously doesn't help. So yeah, the Crusader's in a rough spot right now. There's definitely going to be a heal on the... Oh no, yeah, the Dazzling Light is okay too, yeah. Dazzling Light on the Vestal, and now my Crusader is going to die. I'm still going to have a death blow chance on the Jester, so that's not the end of the world, but we're just going to click here, and yeah, there's probably going to be a Pierce. I mean, it definitely does 5 damage, right? No problemo. I'm still going to blight out, gets the crit, that's probably pretty unnecessary. And it's going to be a 75% chance of getting a death blow with the Dirk Stab. There is an argument for going Harvest. I don't think that would be a good idea. I think Dirk Stab for the kill is better. But yeah, the corpse is probably going to go away now, right? No, it's going to go away next round. And now we can drop the second bullet. And yeah, this team is just really annoying to play with. You know, not having confirmed death blows. It's just, oh, it is so annoying. Fearful maybe refuses a heal, and that's how the cookie crumbles for Mr. D, but I don't know, I'm not seeing it. Because it's going to be really difficult to deal with this shield breaker, and the Vestal is still more than alive. Like, I'm just not seeing it. This Jester should have been dead ages ago. Yeah, there's going to be another stun. I still think that's a misplay right now, because it could have failed, and not only that, I maybe wouldn't have dealt enough damage with Hand of Light. to actually take down the Chester back to 0. I think going for a Defiant Grace would have been better right there, but it's gonna be another kiss. Oh, the crit again. But thankfully it doesn't blight this time. The blight resist does pull through. Please don't roll for 10. Okay. Crits for 7. Gets a crit, but thankfully it's not quite enough. So yeah, the corpse is gone now. And we go for 3rd times the charm, so 80% chance. This time we do get the death blow, and we get a crit on the Shieldbreaker too. Was that a double crit? It was a double crit on the Bowler. Wow, that's pretty insane. But yeah, the Vestal's in a rough spot. She's gonna get punctured right now. Oh, the puncture is so good. Yeah, the puncture is really good here because it just means that I go to a position where yeah, it just means that the Vestal can keep going to a position where she wants to be, and I can keep going to a position where I don't want to be, so it's gonna be tough to deal with. I'm hoping for some crits with this Hand of Light. It's gonna have to be pretty lucky, and I'm also hoping that I survive a lot of death blows here, because that's the only chance I got. It's to survive a lot of death blows. I also have to get more damage through. Should I get damage through with this or with this? I mean, this is double damage. Killing the Vestal is definitely the play. Let's go for it. Oh, come on, Arbalest. You have 26% crit chance. You need to get more. And we just get 40% death, but I think that's GG. Yeah, we're just gonna get perma-stunned right now. And perma-stunned and perma-punctured and perma-pierced. And all we're gonna have is like Bola. Yeah, we don't have a chance anymore. Every action with that stun is gonna be a 90% chance of getting it. So I think that is going to be the end of the Vestal WD. Actually, we resist the 90% stun somehow, surprisingly. But I think the Crusader Corpse is probably going to go away soon, so we're not even going to have a chance to sniper shot. And yeah, after that, it's not too good. Actually, really deciding to put the Vestal in position 1 where she can only bonk. I mean, I'm probably not gonna knock her back, right? Yeah, of course I knock her back. Which means that she can stun me again. There would probably just be a puncture anyway. I think that was a weird play. Should have just gone Pierce on the Arbalest, but yeah. Now I'm just gonna get perma-stunned again. My only hope is that I resist the stun, and Mr. D just gets really greedy. Like, that is my one hope. Like, I do have a finisher, so I do have that clutch potential right now. Decides to go Adder's Kiss on me once again. Maybe not the greatest play, but yeah, you definitely still do enough damage. Now it's just going to be a stun. If that stun goes through, I'm just going to call it GG, and it's very likely going to go through. So GG to Mr. D, definitely very well played. I think the RNG made, like, I think the RNG decided this match, like, for both teams. Like, none of us have confirmed death blows, none of us are playing stress teams, like, and this kind of teams where you just go for the 60s and the 50s with the death blows, it's really hit or miss. Failing that death blow on the fire shot earlier with the Arbal sniper shot just meant that, you know, it took me way more time than it should have to actually kill the fire shot, and after that it took me way more time than it should have to kill the Jester, and by that point the team was dead. I will say, this Crusader survived a remarkable amount of time because of the healing that all these characters were able to do, so the good thing about this team is that playing against other damage teams, you kind of can't remove the defender, you kind of can't remove the healer, because there's just too many. Typically you would stun the guy that would heal after you drop a character to death's door, but you just can't do that here because there's 4 of them. The Abomination can only heal himself, but oh well. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the team showcase, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.